previous classes in our school, we have already finished with our the chemical reactions, the types of the chemical reactions and related questions to them. Now the leftover part was the balancing of the equation. Today in this class I am going to cover that part only, about the balancing of the equation. Now just to recall everything, when we talk about the chemical reactions, I told you that the equation we can write in the two formats. The first format is your word equation, in which you are going to express the equation in the form of its spells. For example, if we just bring the magnesium and oxygen to react, they both will be considered as the reactants. It will form a product called magnesium oxide. Such type of the equations are called as the word equations. Another form of the equation is your formula equation or a chemical equation, or we can say symbol format equations. Now the same equation, if I need to write in the formula equation, your magnesium symbol is Mg plus oxygen, it gets converted into a magnesium oxide. Now over here, if you look over here, my magnesium in the reactant side is one molecule only, over here it is 1. But in the case of the oxygen, over here it is 2, but over here it is 1 only. So such type of equation will be considered as the unbalanced equation. Now the main part comes over here, that what is the balancing of the equation. Balancing of the equation means that your RHS side should be equal to your LHS side, means your reactants should be equal to the product. This is a balancing of equation, or you can say the balancing of equation follows or obeys the law of conservation. Now coming to the balancing of an equation, let's understand it with the help of the few examples. For example, your example 1 is magnesium is going to react with the H2SO4. When magnesium is going to react with the sulfuric acid, it forms a magnesium sulfate and it liberates a hydrogen gas. Now when we need to check that whether the given equation is balanced or not, like in the initial stages, what we do, we just write down the elements, your LHS and your RHS, similar to which you people do in the mathematics only. Now in the complete equation, what all elements are present over here? Magnesium is present over here, hydrogen is present over here, sulfur is present over here, and oxygen is present over here. Now LHS side is what? This one is your LHS side, this one is your RHS side. Now over here, magnesium is 1, hydrogen is 2, sulfur is 1, oxygen is 4. Coming to the RHS side, again magnesium is 1, your sulfur is 1, oxygen is 4 and hydrogen is 2. Comparing both the sides for all the elements, what we are observing, that all the elements on both the sides are same. Therefore, this particular equation is a balanced equation. Just listen, do not focus on writing. Afterwards, I will be sending you the notes also on our WhatsApp group. So just focus on listening and understanding what I am teaching over here. Now let's take another example in which we need to balance the equation. Now here another example we take hydrogen plus oxygen give us a water. Now again the same thing we are going to do. Element LHS RHS. Hydrogen and oxygen, it is 2, 2. Over here it is 2, it is 1 over here. Now if you look, hydrogen is already balanced on both the sides, that is your LHS and RHS are equal for the hydrogen. We need to balance the oxygen over here. So what we do to bring it 2 over here, we just multiply the RHS by 2. When you are going to multiply the RHS by 2, it will come 2H2O. But the moment you multiply it over here, RHS by 2, your oxygen has balanced, but your hydrogen became 4 over here. Therefore, what we do at the LHS side, we multiply the hydrogen by 2, which becomes equal to 4. So, your equation has been balanced over here. Now coming to the few more examples. Let's take an example of yes, we just take the iron is being reacted with the steam. Steam means that water you are taking in a gaseous form, so it form a magnetic iron oxide and it forms a hydrogen. Now carefully listen, the above examples was very simple. This equation is your word equation. The first very step is convert the word equation into the symbolic equation or your formula equation. Iron means Fe plus H2O and your magnetic iron oxide is Fe3O4 plus your hydrogen. This is your symbolic equation. Now many of the books says that whenever you are going to write a symbolic equation, after writing a symbolic equation, your third step comes that you just put all your reactants and products into a boxes. It is not a mandatory one, I think. This will be your third step. Now the fourth step comes your make a table element. I just divide my board into the two parts. Element, LHS and RHS. Iron is over here, hydrogen is over here and oxygen is over here. Your iron is 1, hydrogen is 2, it is 1 over here. 3, 4, 2. Sorry. 2 and 4 over here. Now, the actual balancing part starts over here. Whenever you are going to balance an equation, the very first thing what you are going to consider, take an element which is maximum in number in this. Now if you look this table, the maximum number is of the oxygen. So first of all, you are going to balance the oxygen. Balance oxygen at first. Now if you look over here, our oxygen is 4 over here, and over here we are having only and only one oxygen. So if you want to balance it, what we do, we need to multiply over here with a number which can give us the 4. So what we do, we multiply by the 4. Therefore our equation becomes Fe plus 4H2O give us a Fe3O4 plus H2. Now the second part comes over here. When we have multiplied over here with 4 for the oxygen, what happened? Your oxygen has balanced over here, but your hydrogen has become unbalanced. Means multiplying it by 4 over here, but what happened? That over the LHS side, it became a 8 over here. It means that over here, this 2 you need to bring it to the 8. So 2 4s are over here is 8. So what will be your balancing? Hydrogen multiplied by 4. Fe plus 4H2O Fe3O4 plus 4H2. So these two both are balanced. Over here, your RHS side, we are having the Fe3, but over here we are having a 1 only. So you just multiply it over here with the 3. So your final balanced equation becomes 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. This will be your final balanced equation. If you just compare your LHS and RHS, all the elements are equal on both the sides. Therefore, it is obeying the law of conservation of the mass 2 and known as the balanced equation. Let's move with few other examples also to make it more clear. Let's react nitrogen plus hydrogen. It gives us a ammonia. Now what are the symbols for both of these? Your N2 plus H2 gives NH3. Again, your first step comes element LHS and RHS. Elements are nitrogen and hydrogen. Your LHS side is 2, 2, over here is 1, over here is 3. Now both the components over here, they are in the unbalanced form. So the higher one is your hydrogen. So first of all, in the first step, we need to balance a hydrogen. Now this is a odd number over here. We need to balance this side. This is the bigger side. We cannot we cannot make it a 3 over here. What number you can be means if you are going to write over 1 over here, it will become 2 only. If you write 2 over here, it will become a 4 over here. If you write 3 over here, so it becomes 3 2s are 6, which is quite easy for me to bring a 6 also over here. So what we do, we just multiply over here RHS, LHS side with 2 over here. So what happens to the equation? N2 plus 3H2 gives NH3. Now over here I am having the 3 only. Again this 3 I need to bring to the 6. So what I do? To the RHS side I multiply by the 2 over here. So now if you look, your nitrogen, both the sides are the 2, and if you consider the hydrogen, 3 2s are 6, 2 3s are 6. Again our equation is being balanced over here. Now moving ahead, we just deal with a few more examples related to it. Let's take another example, our fifth example. Hydrogen plus chlorine gives hydrogen chloride, which you call as a hydrochloric acid also. Now over here, if you look here, hydrogen is what? H2, chlorine is again diatomic form, Cl2, this is the HCl. Very simple. Now what we can, over here also LHS side we are having the 2 hydrogen and 2 chlorine, but over RHS side we are having the 1 hydrogen and 1 chlorine only. So what we do, we just need to multiply by the 2 over here. Like this we do a balancing part. Another example, let's take sodium plus water. When you are going to react sodium plus water, what it do? It gives a sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. It is going to give a sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Sodium symbol is Na, water is H2O, sodium hydroxide is NaOH, again your hydrogen is H2. Now if you look over here, then your sodium, hydrogen and oxygen, LHS and RHS, sodium is 1, hydrogen is 2, oxygen is 1. RHS side, sodium is 1, your oxygen is 1, but in the case of a hydrogen, we are having the 3 hydrogens. Therefore, we need to balance first of all our hydrogens. So, again, over here we are having the 2, but over here we are having the 3 hydrogens. So, what I do, if I write over here 2, then it becomes 2 2s are 4. If I write 2 over here, my sodium has become 2, no issues. My oxygen has become 2, no issues. Now this has become 2 hydrogen and 2 hydrogen. Therefore, our equation got balanced by putting 2 again in front of the sodium. In this manner, the balancing of the equation is being done, and it is just like a mathematics. More you practice, more you will be perfect in balancing the equation. So for today, your homework is do the questions related to the balancing of the equation, and if in case of any doubt, you can just contact me.